There is a fifth dimension.
A dimension of sound.
Damn it, Frank! We tell him to be quiet. I spilled my hot cup of Uranus again.
A dimension of sight.
Hey, Arch. I'm gonna sock you in the puss.
A dimension of mind.
Nan Adams, is that you?
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
You know, so they had a sale, I don't remember the company, but like one of the like kind of full moon-esque movies or things. They have a movie called Death Toilet. There are 6 Death Toilet movies. One of them is Amityville Death Toilet.
What? When did Amityville? There's a bunch of Amityville movies.
Oh, there's like 40 of them.
Branch off.
There's Amityville Vibrator.
Yeah, Amityville.
But anyway, we should probably jump in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump off target. Sorry about that, Nick. No more talk of...
Yeah, we're here to talk the 5th season of the Twilight Zone, 5th Dimension podcast. I'm your host Nick, and yeah, it's last season of the Twilight Zone. It's pretty crazy to think about. It's one of those seasons where we're gonna see if it can go out on a bang or go out on a whimper, and yeah, 5th season. Crazy that we're here already. But anyways, I'm here, of course, with my co-host Triv, Jacob, and Alex.
Woohoo!
All back to talk 30-minute episodes, which is very, very weird. I mean, we only talked about the 4th season for like 4 months or whatever, but when you get kind of used to the 4th season and it's hour long, whatever it is, going to the 5th season, going back to half hour is kind of weird. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it was pretty interesting to kind of go that route. So I don't know how you guys feel about going back to 30 minutes or 25 minutes.
This felt like it was supposed to be an hour-long episode.
It was odd.
I think that would have sucked.
I don't think it should have been. I don't think it should have been an hour-long episode, but like it took a lot of the episode to get to what the episode was like, or the part, the part with the kid. And I was like, man, they usually jump into things quicker with these 30-minute episodes, I thought.
It takes time to get back to his groove.
I don't know. I feel like it moved pretty quickly into what happens, but I don't know. Alex, what do you think about going back to 30-minute episodes?
I mean, I'm cool with it. It didn't really feel like abrupt or anything, but I thought the episode for what it did in like that under 30-minute time was pretty solid.
Yeah, it's the question remains whether the episode's successful because the first episode of all 4 or actually all 5 seasons at this point, not the greatest episodes in the world. Trying to think what season 4 had In His Image, season 3 had 2.
Those are both pretty solid, I think.
King and I Will Not Return was really bad. Where's Everybody was kind of whatever.
Well, I mean, you had a crush on Charles Bronson in 2, so
shirtless Charles
Bronson. I mean,
shirtless
hey,
Charles
what can
Bronson.
I say? Sometimes you got to have the manly man in your life,
Well, you got good taste.
Pride Month too.
Right. Anyways, before we get actually started, the episode is, of course, the first episode of the last season, which is season 5, episode 1, Call and Praise of Pip, directed by Joseph M. Newman, written by Rod Serling. Production code 2607, air date September 27th, 1963. Stars Jack Klugman, Connie Gilchrist, Robert Diamond, Bill Mumy. Some uncredited people for some reason. I don't know if it's just a Actors Guild thing. I don't know, but there's like, the Enforcer, Craig Martin and Steve John Launer. And some other people. I don't know why it says uncredited for some reason in Wikipedia, but I guess maybe because they're not in the episode very long.
It might have been a, hey, we want to be in Twilight Zone, we really don't care, just pop us in there kind of a deal.
Little kid was Bill Mumy.
Yeah,
this
is his best role, and from the Suicide Grandma one.
Ugh.
Jack Klugman, this is his last episode of the series. I think he's been a pretty of all the episodes he does, I think he's pretty competent as not only an actor but as a Twilight Zone actor. I think he is good at his performances, as good as his facial, the way he looks, the way he acts. He's good at going back and forth between crazy and stern, and he doesn't really have any episodes where he's like super like upbeat, but I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about, kind of like Burgess Meredith, like Jack Klugman in the Twilight Zone?
He's got good range, I think, and I mean, I don't know. Obviously, everything that we've talked about with Burgess Meredith kind of happened after the Twilight Zone. If you're talking Batman or Rocky or whatever, but Burgess Meredith showed his talent, and obviously he was brought back because of that talent. And I think that Jack Klugman is kind of the same. He has a wide range and does it well.
I think
Right.
he's
What about
good
you
in
guys?
everything he's in. Not
Mhm.
necessarily everything he's in is good, but he's
Yeah.
good. I
Mhm.
think Burgess Meredith's episodes, while some of them may have been somewhat questionable, they were all pretty enjoyable.
Oh yeah, Burgess Meredith's
Could have
pretty
been a
good.
contender, you know.
I keep forgetting I should also add input, even though I'm just nodding and
That's
agreeing.
That's part of being
Yeah,
on
you're
the
just
show,
like,
Alex.
Okay, I'm
you
sorry.
gotta talk.
I forgot. No, yeah, I say like, I mean, if we're comparing like Burgess Meredith with Chad Klugman, I would say that I feel like Klugman has been in a lot more of the serious, more like grounded episodes. I would say just to my kind of recollection in comparison to, Burgess Meredith, where there's a bit more of a lightheartedness or comedic aspect of it with like Mr. Dingle the Strong, for example. But yeah, also ones that deal with mortality in a way, which I think
Right.
is quite an interesting approach to it. But he was good enough at his job to, be in like 3 other episodes of the series, including, and then plus this one. And then
Yeah.
even Bill Mumy was also, well liked within the series as well, to have this be his 3rd episode of 3 in the series. So
Well, to do it
Didn't
at such a young age.
right? Didn't Felix? Did he play Felix or Oscar in Odd Couple?
He was the non-clean one. So was that Oscar?
Okay.
I think, right?
Yeah, I can't remember offhand.
I can't remember.
Hang on.
He was in it.
He was in it with Tony Randall, I think.
Sorry, give me a second. Come on, gosh darn it. I'm sorry, guys. Please forgive me. Odd Couple, Oscar. 114 episodes.
Oh, okay. So he played the non-straight laced guy in the
He
in the
played
episode,
the kind of dirty guy. The unorganized, I think he was a sports writer. The
Oh, okay.
non-anal retentive one.
You said the non-dirty guy. You like the non-dirty guys,
Oh,
Triv?
shit.
Is that how you view life?
Yes, I guess.
I think
I mean,
most
is-
people
My
like
mind is so
non-dirty
out of it
guys.
right now. I was
No,
just
I mean, is James
um,
Corden? I mean, you say I'm with James Corden. Is he a non-dirty guy?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
And he looks fairly
Anyway.
skeezy, but he
Trolls.
comes across as kind of skeezy.
I mean, he
Yeah.
did dress as a
more of a-
mouse, so
Oof.
that's all
More
you
of a
need to know.
personality thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's a non-dirty, dirty guy.
He's a
See, that's
physically
Triv,
clean
Pineapple
individual, I
Pizza,
guess.
and James Corden.
What? The two are not synonymous.
Sure,
not
Might be
sure.
like Johnny
Pizza.
Depp. They never shower. You never know. I mean,
like who?
and Brad Pitt apparently too.
What?
For that? Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp, they both do that whole like rarely showering, no deodorant thing.
Men.
Oh, I bet you they're brilliant to be around. They just probably light up a room with their fragrances.
Mhm.
I mean, technically, it is true. You're not supposed to shower every day. I mean, unless you work out and stuff like that. But that's technically a rule.
Right. But not
I'm-
showering every day and not showering for a month are two different things.
I
I'm
feel
too
like that's
anally
like,
retentively
yeah.
clean. I like. I can't. I feel really gross if I don't shower. Nothing. I know some people they
Yeah.
say you don't have to every day, and that's fine. But I don't know. I have to.
I think you worked in kitchens for a long time too, and that I'm sure that smell
Yes.
of grease is always with you.
Or just smell of
Food.
food. Yeah.
I feel like I've
I
heard
mean, to be
different
fair-
viewpoints and stuff like all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really
Right.
know. Like
I
like
mean-
even from like medical professionals or whatever who I'd see on like YouTube talk about it, I've heard like different, I guess, opinions or points about it. So, I think it's one of those things where it's like you do you.
You do
because some people's
deodorant.
bodies are much more fragrant and give off more oils and stuff like that. So
We all turn into Homo sapiens eventually.
hobo sapien
Um,
with a shotgun.
God.
It's the next great evolution.
Homo sapiens with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Anyways, so once again, we're back to 25-minute episodes. I was actually able to watch this like a half hour before recording, not have to worry about running
Yay.
over. So that
That
was
is
kind
one
of
good thing
nice.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could wake up at, instead of having to wake up at like 9 o'clock, I could wake up at like 9:40 and watch the episode
Woo!
without commercials.
Yay.
We are also in the thralls or whatever you want to call it of the Twilight Zone score, and theming at the end sounded like what it usually should sound like, what we always have known like it should sound like. Yeah, I think it's at its final form. And of course, season 5 was the official year of the cancellation. I don't know how they got 36 episodes if the studio execs hated them so much, but here we are, 36 episodes before we end.
Did they know
And
that this was going to be their last season before the end of the actual season?
yes, yeah, they
Really?
knew the 4th season. Like they were trying to cancel. That's why it went to an hour episodes, is because they wanted to cancel it, but then they're like, "Oh, we need something to replace blah blah blah," or whatever show was running. So they're like, "Hey, Twilight Zone, kid in the corner of the baseball field. You gotta do batter up, that type of thing." So
We're giving you 2 weeks. Produce 36 episodes now.
Like South Park could do it.
that's why we got black leather jackets
Oof.
and Bewitching Pool. And
Oof.
anyways, In Praise of Pip is not those episodes. I think this episode is quite great, quite good. Very thought provoking when it comes to the things we do. I've been watching this show called this is off subject, but I watch it not really, but I've been watching a show called Dark Matter, which deals with multiverses and stuff like that. And the big thing about that series is the choices we make and how things can spiral one direction, spiral another direction. It's that Robert Frost. Is it Robert Frost who says the road less traveled or whatever it is? And
Maybe?
that's what I think it's Robert Frost. But anyways, the point being is Max Phillips, who's the main character of this episode, he chose one path, and that path he ends up regretting. So it's similar to like that show I was watching where one small choice can actually alter the way you move through the timeline, your path. And I think that's fascinating because as we see his son, who's Pip, is mortally wounded in Vietnam. And there's a big thing that I read in the trivia about how this episode was actually kind of forward when it came to the idea of the war that would end up being Vietnam. So it was actually commentating on the approaching war that was going to be Vietnam. And
Wow.
I found that kind of interesting, but I don't know how you guys feel about that kind of idea of how Rod Serling was just kind of ahead of the curve when it came to like how war affects
Yeah,
people and
this would have
stuff like
been
that.
real early in Vietnam, wouldn't it have?
Yeah. 64 or 63? 64? 63, right?
September 60.
Yeah, did I say when it came out? Yeah, September
Yeah.
27th, 1963. It
Wow.
was right before some offensive that actually started the war, but Ross Sterling kind of I don't know if he knew about like what was going to happen or he could see the linings on the wall, but it's interesting. I don't know. It's interesting because it we all make decisions that affect the outcome of our life, and
Yeah.
he's a bookie working for a mob guy or whatever.
The trivia says that the episode was produced about 2 years before the massive intervention of American forces in South Vietnam. So I think Vietnam was going before this, but the states didn't enter the fray until.
We were probably
Yeah,
just
but
like
he
partially in it, not full on full war. Kind of like Desert Shield versus Desert Storm,
Yeah.
to liken it to
Right.
something that most of us would remember.
Alex, what were you
Was I
gonna?
supposed
You were
to
getting
say
ready.
something?
What's that?
Are you showing my
slide in.
age?
He's just jealous.
Yeah.
Jake wishes he could be
Yeah.
young again. We all do.
Wishes he can
Sir, I
turn
am young.
25 again.
I'm very young.
Alex, I knew you were looking in the book.
Um,
Did you find anything or?
Oh, yes. I looked at it before, but I was like double checking that because it's saying in Zakri's book, at least that like the episode was supposed to originally take place in Laos, but it was changed to Vietnam. And so then because of how it brought it up within the script, it's mentioned as, well, it says it's like this episode marked the first mention of an American casualty in Vietnam in any dramatic TV show, which is, I guess, interesting. But then
It is.
also, like on the wiki page, I'm not super sure where the source of this is from on here because it doesn't exactly cite it. Because like it has references to the different to the two companions that exist in like some trivia, but it's saying that the episode, I guess, is like incorrectly cited as the first American television drama to mention the growing Vietnam War, or the first to show a Vietnam veteran, but assertions, however, are false. But like I'm not really sure necessarily like where that's backed. So that's why I was like cross-referencing Elisa Cree's book to seeing
Oh no,
if there was
understood.
anything mentioned in that, but I'm not super certain exactly about. Either way, it is an early mention of it. Is it the first? I'm not super sure. But I guess either way, it's I guess kind of interesting how they were going to have it take place in a separate kind of area, but it seems like CBS was the one who potentially wanted the change to happen. It wasn't something that I guess was originally going to be the case. But yeah, I guess that's sort of the most, at least that I can offer.
Sorry, guys. This episode apparently is no longer produced by or sponsored by Oasis cigarettes
Damn it. Or Chesterfields
or Chesterfields.
for the
Now it's
softest
Pall Mall,
taste. Damn
right?
it. It was good to see because I feel like with season 4, we didn't get a lot of like those shots like in the same like you'd have the thing going on and then it would whip pan around or whip zoom around and then you'd have like Serling in the same room. I feel like we didn't get a lot of that in 4, and this felt like return to form, being that we saw a lot more of Serling, not against like the void wall thing.
Yeah, even the and now from Rod Serling, who we'll discuss next week's episode, it was back to just him sitting in a room just saying, here we have Richard Matheson, blah blah blah, doing steel. And it was very, like I said, it was very what you remember the Twilight Zone being. I think the fourth season was an outlier in that realm, but
Sort of the
once again,
1970s trailer way of just showing sections of the film.
yeah. Yeah, I
This
remember
is
you
the
saying that
trailer.
during
Here's a
the
5-minute trailer of just parts of the movie.
right. I remember you saying that during 30 Fathom Grave. You're like, why are they showing us the whole episode already? It's like, but yeah. So Pip is a character who gets mortally wounded in Vietnam, and I thought this was gonna be an episode where like Jack Klugman is playing. He was playing Pip, and the reason I thought that is when he wakes up, I thought this was gonna be like a Jacob's Ladder thing. Where Alex, have you ever heard of Jacob's Ladder?
I've heard of it.
Oh, okay. Do you
Back
care if
there.
I spoil it? Yeah, I know, Jake. I know Triv. I'm sure you've seen it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I've
I'm
got
fine
one
with it
of
being
Would you-
around the
spoiled.
corner.
You don't care if you okay.
I don't
All
really
right.
care.
Uh, in Jacob's Ladder, Tim Robbins plays a Vietnam. He plays a war vet or Vietnam or whatever vet, and he's having like these really bad nightmares, and he starts basically losing his sanity. And basically, what happens is the story of his character is he was basically killed. As we find out at the end that he actually, it's almost like an afterlife situation where he was killed in the war. He actually didn't
Like
survive,
a
so everything he's seeing is kind of like
death
a
dream, isn't it?
yeah. It's like
If I
his
remember
death.
right, like he's remembering
Yeah,
what life could be or something like that.
yeah. So I thought my point being the reason I say that is I thought this is what this episode is going to be, where this guy is going to wake up and he's going to realize he died in war or something like that at the operating table. But actually, no, it's actually his father. The father is played by Jack Klugman, who is the father of Pip.
I
And
thought it was gonna be a Nan Adams situation.
Yeah.
yeah, but he wakes up. Does he wake up from like a nightmare or something like that? I thought he was having a dream about his son in the war. Like I didn't know what was going on at that first beginning, but he gets a
I think he
telegram
was
from his.
hallucinating in part because of the gunshot wound that he had. That was my, I guess, assumption of it.
At the
Well, I meant
beginning,
like
though?
at the beginning
Yeah,
of the
Oh,
beginning. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The
think it
when
was
he gets
just
into the carnival.
I think it's one of
supposed to
those things where
signify-
like I know in I think it's A Haunting in Hill House. They have it to where the twins, kind of like the children that originally live in like Hill House for a bit. It's like
Oh, okay.
they initially, because they have like some like almost like their thoughts, or they can like sense certain things, but it could be sensed too from the other children. When I won't spoil it because it's really good series, but it's like one
Very
of
good.
the like handful of kids passes away at like a certain time, and then all of the other children like sense that and just wake up, but they don't exactly know why until like after the fact. So I feel like it's just one of those
Right.
like internal like, I don't know, instincts, or it's not necessarily like
Y-
intuition, but
Well, I've heard stories like you said about people like wake up at like a specific time, and that's when the parent passed away or something like that. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's just that situation where he just like
yeah,
his
that's
son's
at least how
dying
I
and
It's like
that's at least
that
how I like connected it. So
Yeah.
infomercial that three of us will remember from back in the day, like the 90s and 80s, where it had like those videos you could order. And it was like strange. I don't remember. I'm doing a terrible job at this, but it was like strange stories and stuff like that. And it always had like a woman standing at her kitchen stops and
like
pauses. And across the country, her daughter is being gangbanged by
sounds like beyond
three
belief to
guys. I don't
me.
know, something something like that. It's always like the whole thing was just the commercial for it or something like that. I've never seen one, but whatever.
Oh, by the way, Amazon Prime has Beyond Belief on right now
Oh
on their
God.
streaming service. It is fantastic stuff. Like there is some cheesy ass shit on there, but it is fantastic when you realize what's true and what's not true.
I can bet. And I can also at least from current experiences or current yeah, I guess current experiences, tell you that the whole sibling death thing, at least for some of my family, was very true. So
It's almost like
Oh,
things happen in places and people and connections, and
yeah.
it's like a Black Mirror episode.
Uranus
I swear to God.
is
Uranus is
cups
I
of
yeah.
have
Uranus
twins,
is
and I've asked them before, can you like feel what she's feeling? And they'd be like, no.
Damn.
Not at
But since
maybe
this is
they're
only
Irish
25 minutes,
twins.
when they're like close to each
Possibly.
other, they kind of play off each other a lot. Like they're like the friggin' Shining twins. But like,
Come play with us.
but they like live and they do things very similarly. Like they both up and moved to Florida, like across states, like within the same month and a half.
Oh wow.
Totally unrelated, but it just kind of worked out that way. And we're like, they do a lot of the same things, but I've asked them if they have like a psychic connection. It's like, no, I don't think so.
So Nick, how long is this episode?
Thank you, Alex. So this episode is 25 minutes long. In all
Shorter than
honesty,
this
like
show.
yeah, right. But that's the best part about the show. It could be like 3 hours long, talking about a 25-minute episode.
Yeah.
But you're not
True.
gonna believe this, Alex. I'm gonna get Jacob to do the opening narration because it's only a 25-minute episode.
God. And the opening narration is 25 minutes as well.
Yeah,
we're
so get
in
on with Jacob,
The
you homo
Twilight
sapien.
Zone.
Better not fuck this up.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all I'm
Let
gonna
me
say.
Come
pull it
on
up
with your
here.
undistinguished, dirty clothes and your homo sapiens. Come on, Jacob. Let's do
Homo
this.
sapien. I'm a Homo sapien. Okay. This goes out to all the Homo sapiens out there. Submitted for your approval. One Max Phillips, a slightly the worse for wear maker of book, whose life has
Sorry,
been
Alex.
drab and undistinguished as a bundle of dirty clothes. And though it's very late in his day, he has an errant wish that the rest of his life might be sent out to the laundry to come back shiny and clean. This is a gift of love to a son named Pip, Mr. Max Phillips, Homo sapiens, who is soon to discover that man is not as wise as he thinks. Said lesson to be learned in the Twilight Zone.
See, Alex, if you had not said anything, you remember the thing in the Matrix when she says, "Hey, if I had not mentioned the flower pot, he
Red
wouldn't have
dress?
made it fall to the ground." Alex, if you had not said anything, he wouldn't have fucked it up. But he fucked it up. He fucked it up. No, I'm kidding.
Okay,
it up, my
well, great for having me on, guys.
There
I'm
is no
gonna leave.
spoon.
Don't head out. Don't look at the time.
No.
There is no.
It's a lot of words. It's a lot of dirty clothes to talk about, you know.
Yep.
But yeah,
It isn't as
so
evocative as some of the other ones.
Yeah. It's kind of an odd, it's kind of an, well, at least for me, it's kind of an odd opening narration. Is it just me? It is literally just
I think
me, isn't it?
Serling's done the like submitted for your approval
Like 3 other
kind of like grab
times.
your attention monologue before. It
He
sounds
has.
familiar, but I don't recall like
It's funny. The submitted for your approval is like really popular and famous. Like you would think he does it every episode, but he's only done it like a handful of times.
There are only
Okay,
3
yeah.
Twilight Zone episodes that feature the line submitted for your approval.
Yeah, but it's like a
Awesome.
thing. Like you look up
Oh, I
the
know.
meme, it's like there's a bunch of them with him sitting there like it's like submitted for your approval
Yep.
and things like that. I mean, it's like you would think that he did it a lot more. But...
Well, look at like
it's almost like he
misquoted
was a writer
lines.
for a living.
Yeah. Look at the like Star Wars, that he never actually said, Luke, I am your father. He says, I am, what is it? I am he, or I am your father.
I am your
Like that.
father. He says, "I am your father." He doesn't
Right.
go, "Luke, I am your father."
Or
Oh, it's like
Casablanca.
in play it again, Sam. He never says
Yeah.
that.
Like,
Again,
say it
Sam,
like you
play
do.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
I know
Yeah.
there's like a popular
He
Walt
does it all
Disney
Yoda
quote
like.
that's like, if you can dream it, you can do it. But apparently, like, he didn't say that.
Like
It's just
Mandela
people
effect.
quote it as like something Walt Disney, I guess, may have said or like
Yeah.
or like didn't say, but like it gives off the essence of Walt Disney, which I think is pretty interesting. It's not just like an actual quote.
Do you know that Abe
Yeah,
Lincoln
it's like,
said, don't believe everything that you read on the internet?
Definitely.
Didn't Abraham
Alex
Lincoln
knew.
say splat?
And he said sploot.
No, he said, "Party on, dudes!"
That's when he was
Theodore
killing
Roosevelt
vampires
say poggers
or
once.
zombies.
Nice. Hey, did you know that Teddy Roosevelt was a kid who helped Abe Lincoln kill zombies?
Yeah.
Did you know
Not
Percival
vampire
Smithers hated Santa Claus?
He hated his front name.
No.
Is that like a front butt?
He didn't have any bones with Santa Claus. Just his front name.
So, in praise of Pip, let's talk
Yes.
about this wonderful episode.
In praise of
Actually, I
one
didn't
of
even
the
ask you guys what you
worst
thought of
names
the
you can give your
episode.
child. Like his
I mean, you
actual
give him
name is Pip because they were like, "What's this soldier's name?" And they like look at his dog tags. I felt like the guy was gonna be like, sorry, Pip.
There's nothing wrong with Pip.
I mean, but who's gonna name their kid Pip?
Someone
You're
from the
just asking
60s,
for him to get his ass
apparently.
kicked on the
Okay, but we're talking about the same series that in season 4 had like I literally forgot what his
The
last name was.
Isn't it
For on
Moonley
Thursday
or
we leave for
Moon?
home.
You can't help your last name. You're stuck with that. That's just like
Is it
lineage.
Benteen?
Your
Well,
your
what
last
about-
We're talking
name
about
can
the
be
same
like
series that had Benteen
pound
as
an
a
ass, and
surname.
you can't do
Jacob.
anything about it.
Benteen.
But your first name, two
I'll take
people
Pip
gave you
over
that.
anything.
It's-
This is a
Hey.
Pip.
We live in a world. We live in a world where somebody could actually be named Taco McDonald's. Okay,
It
so
could also be named.
not
Come
everybody
on,
can be named
Eileen.
Roger Moore or Bob Moore. Or,
That reminded me. I think it was oh my god, I heard of this story recently where these 2 babies in the same hospital, I guess coincidentally were named like Johnny Carson, and I think it was the name of his wife or something, but it was like
Johnny
2
Bravo?
separate parent, yeah,
Weird.
or something like that. I remember it being in the news, and I thought it was,
I
I
knew
mean,
anything's possible.
when I
Yeah.
was in the hotel business, I knew a housekeeper whose daughter. So she didn't do it, but she was telling me her daughter, and she was just like, "I can't believe she did this." She named her child Kool Aid.
Oh.
And I think there's a movie where somebody did that too, and I was like, "You're lying." No, her kid's name was
was that
Kool.
don't drink your juice in the
name
hood
Aid.
while being?
Oof.
No, I think it wasn't like Parenthood or something like that. Like the
Oh.
original Parenthood. I don't know. There's a movie from way
Well-
back that did that too, but like, I'm only going off what this lady said, and she did not seem like she was lying because she seemed very disappointed in her child. And she said, "Yeah."
I haven't actually. I don't know what you guys think about this episode. I really liked it. I thought it was a well put together, tightly packed episode with some really kind of hard hitting messages about the things we make. But I'm one person of 4 people, and this is a podcast where we talk about the Twilight Zone. So, what do you guys think of Praise of Pip, or as Pace Magazine calls Praise of Pip?
I have very little comment about the episode, but I say that in the best way because
Aw.
I honestly forgot about like just how like heart touching and in a way like sentimental this episode was. Like I was like watching it and I
Alex, did it
couldn't
hit you in
remember
the
the
gut
motions
like
of
a
it.
bullet?
Well, not like that, but it was just more of like it felt a little bitter. Like it was more of like a bittersweet feeling kind of thing where I was like, oh, I forgot that happened, kind of thing. And then it, like, I felt kind of touched by it in a way that I forgot that I might have felt when I was like binge watching all the episodes. But yeah, I feel like this is one of the episodes that I feel is really effective in its simplicity. And I think some of the best episodes are the ones that don't have a lot of like substance. Like they don't have a lot of like I don't know, let's say you have like a sandwich. And sometimes with certain sandwiches, you know, you can pack it with a bunch of different like meats and condiments, you know, different like fillings. Right? But I feel like sometimes a good PB&J is like and just exactly what you needed, you know? And I feel like this was like the PB&J amongst sandwiches.
It was comfort food, is what
PB&J
you're
should be
saying.
for every
Well,
meal.
yeah, like I felt like
You
this
can't
was
have
one of
enough
those episodes.
PB&J.
Yeah, like I felt like I sat back, I had like a simple like PB&J or like a ham and cheese sandwich, and I was like, you know what? Simplicity is nice. Like you don't always need like thick episode, like intense episodes all the time. You know, sometimes you don't always want like this jam-packed hefty sandwich like in the way that like I don't know, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo would like stack his sandwiches, you know? Like those episodes are a lot of fun and memorable, but I feel like this kind of episode is equally memorable in a way where it's like it's a little tucked in. It's a little it had its moment, you know? Like I feel like it has its own like little neat I'm sure it probably maybe has like little niche of people being like, you know what, I did like that episode. And I feel like people don't talk about it enough because it's kind of in the middle, but you know, pretty solid. Anyway, who else wants to give their opinion?
It's like a nice crunchy peanut butter jelly sandwich. It just hits the
Okay,
spot.
we.
Yep.
No, they
I
actually
was-
at work.
I'm such a visual person, Nick. I'm
No.
so
No,
That's a good way to
What I'm
state it.
saying is, you guys didn't let me finish. At work, they have these peanut butter jelly sandwiches that have granola in them. They're actually pretty good. They're crunchy peanut butter jelly. So it hits the spot, just like
I
this
have
episode.
not heard of that. That is very interesting.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's good.
I mean, I kind of echo Alex's sentiments. It was a solid episode. It kind of warmed the cockles of your heart, or you know, below your cockles, depending upon how emotional you are as a person. I think it was, not. It's hard sometimes for Twilight Zone episodes to hit that soft spot, and I think that we can be a little bit like, oh, that's just silly horse pucky and all that stuff, where I think this hit the right level of feeling and emotion. It didn't get too schlocky in its approach, really. It wasn't watching this, I kind of had thoughts of Horace Ford, not in a bad way, but just like it was sort of doing that similar thing where it's going back in time to relive a moment to some extent when they get to the carnival and such. But this did it in a way that made sense, and it didn't overplay its hand, and it was just there to kind of tell the story and help a guy figure out what he lost and all that good stuff. So
I'm kind of interested in hearing what I guess Jake has to say regarding the episode, just because of like the parental dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you have anything to elaborate on?
Well, I don't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but I do like ham sandwiches.
You like granola and ham.
No. I like
Triv,
this
you got to stop with these concoctions of pineapple and pizza and ham and granola.
Yeah,
What is
I like that too.
Good,
I like
good
peanut
Lord,
butter.
both of
I
you.
like jelly, just not together. I mean, I didn't hate this episode. I'm not gonna say I loved
This
it.
is why I love you, Jacob, because you have like completely different opinions of all of us.
Everybody.
It's great. Yeah.
I'm the outlier. I didn't. It wasn't bad. It drug a bit in parts. That's why when earlier I said, "Oh, this seemed like an hour-long episode." Not the whole thing. It didn't feel like it was an hour long. I mean, it felt like it's runtime. But like the first half, I liked like what it was doing. I guess it just seemed like it took a while to do it. It seemed like it took a little bit of time to get to the point. And I guess with the 24-minute episodes, I'm used to it like getting to the point quicker, or at least getting to the part that's going to have the point quicker. And I didn't feel like this one did that. That's not to say it was bad. Like,
Well, when you say it took too long to get to the point, like
the part with
wasn't the point. But is that the whole entire point of the episode though? That's the thing. Like his kid's dying, and we learned about that, a few minutes into the episode. But isn't the point of the episode like his view on his life in
To show his
general and how
depravity.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying like I'm just kind of going from a different angle,
No,
kind of.
this makes no sense because not you, me. What I'm saying makes no sense because like if this was an hour long episode, I would have been like, I really liked how they took the time to really get to know his character so we could see how like bad of a person he was, and it really hit a lot harder when we all that shit.
You're like this
Oh,
one, like
here-
get the fuck on, come
Yeah,
on, damn it.
here it just seemed like it drug. I don't know why, and it wasn't like a total drag. I'm not saying like, oh, it's terrible, just drug on. I was like, oh my god, come on. But I don't think if you have that much time in a 24-minute episode to feel that way, but it just I don't know. I felt as if, okay, I get it. He's a schlub. He shit out on his kid, and he's having regrets now. That aspect of it, not that I've shit out on any of my kids, but I mean, yeah, I feel for the guy there. I think that was good. We haven't really had that come up in the Twilight Zone before. I mean, we've had people talk about regret or experience regret, which is ultimately what he's experiencing. But and the payoff, like him with his kid, the part where he's like realizing his kid's leaving, I thought that was good. Like when his kid's like, "Hey, it's time for me to go because I'm gonna die," and like that was real heartfelt. And you felt for the guy then. That was like I think the hard hitting part of the episode. I liked that. All the stuff with him running around the carnival and stuff was just kind of like fine, I guess. I don't know. It didn't touch me like other things have touched me, but it apparently touched you guys more. I don't know. I was real up and down with this episode because like I said, I did not hate any of it, but there were just parts that I felt like it was like is either unnecessary or I wish it's not as affecting as I think it should be or wants to be. Overall, the sentiment of the episode I think is good, and I think it's showing regret and how he maybe, depending on what you believe, and the show kind of leaves it somewhat open-ended, maybe sacrificed himself so his kid could go on. So since he was such a crap dad, he gave like the ultimate sacrifice. So that's that's pretty touching. I just overall, I don't know. It didn't. I feel like it like spoke to you guys a lot more than me. I didn't dislike it. It was just kind of there. I like what it was saying, but it didn't like just grip me and touch me.
I wouldn't say
It
this
didn't
is
do- it
like
didn't
a definitive like one of the best Twilight Zone episodes for sure.
No,
Because
I
I
don't
feel
think
like
so.
there's so many more that like top that. I just think for me, I just didn't expect this to be. I didn't really have the expectation of this episode being great upon rewatch. Like I just didn't remember it, or I just didn't have the kind of memorability
Excuse me.
like I guess other episodes did. So I guess that's where I was coming from. Like I feel like when we do our ranking, this would be more like kind of in the middle of the road. But I feel like that's like the perfect spot for this episode. Like this isn't like bland white toast. Like there's some filling in here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and I'm not saying that.
There's a-
Sorry
Granola.
about my analogies.
But I
But
feel like
also you're welcome.
I feel like the filling or the spread that you put on this bland white toast, you didn't have quite enough, and like there's some patches of
Mhm.
bland white toast in there.
That's fair.
And I think that Jack Klugman, and we talked about this earlier about how he's been in. I can't remember every episode he's been in, but I think he's been in a couple at least that were one that wasn't a great episode, but he was good in. So I made that comment earlier. I think he elevates the episode.
Well,
I
he
think if it
was
was
in- let me
somebody
see.
else, the episode would have been a lot more or a lot less affecting, and even especially to me, because the parts that are memorable were memorable because of him. Like the end part, seeing his pain, the part in the when he gets the letter, or the lady tells him on the phone, "Hey, kid's dying," and I just feel like she would have been like, "You need to come home," but or she tell him on the phone.
She
Or did
told
he
him
get
on the
the-
phone when he was
Yeah.
at the bookie's place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Mhm.
And that whole scene right there where he tells the kid, "Get the hell out of here, take the money," and the guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing? See?" And he's like, "Shut your cake hole." That was really good. Those were memorable parts to me. So
He was the episodes that he was in. He was in A Passage for Trumpet, A Game of Pool, which I know you're not a big fan of, Jacob. Death Ship, and then this one.
I don't dislike Game of Pool. I don't think it spoke to you guys a lot more than me. Passage
They
for
just
Trumpet.
Jack Lugman doesn't speak to you.
Patches for
Jay.
Trumpet was
That's,
where
that sentiment sounds a little familiar. This
So you were the
one.
jelly, you were the strawberry jelly. He was the peanut butter. You guys just didn't mix very well. That's all.
How do those two not go together? Those are like
Great.
perfect together.
No, they're not.
They are.
It depends
his
on
own.
okay, but
To
it
each his
depends
own.
on
Screw you.
what peanut butter and jelly you use.
No peanut butter and no jelly go together, in my opinion. But hey, you know what? I know I'm the minority in that. I love peanut butter and I love jelly, just not together.
I mean,
He's
I
gonna be
don't really
raising
like
flags
PB&J
everywhere.
sandwiches either, but I was just trying to give a point.
Oh,
Wait. So we have two
fellow
people who don't like
non-lover of peanut
Wait,
butter
whoa,
jellies.
whoa. I'm doing the Peter Griffin thing. We have half the group that doesn't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Oh,
It
dude,
just
there's
doesn't
something
mix,
wrong
man.
with you. What?
Well,
For
where's
me,
my, hey,
for me personally, to each his own. I'm
Yeah.
happy that you guys find joy in this.
I suppose
This
you don't like
culinary
peanut butter
delight.
and cheese either.
What?
No.
okay, Trev, you're
Trev.
get
Okay,
out.
now we
Out.
can talk
What?
about
What?
this one more
No,
divisively.
no,
That's
y'all
just-
suck.
That's like
Y'all
Chinese food and
suck.
cheese. It
That
doesn't
is
work.
not
It does not
Chinese-
work.
Sure it
It's like
does.
apple pie and
No.
cheese.
Hey, on the East
It's
Coast,
just
that
a
works.
texture thing. Like, it's just
Fair.
a texture
That's
thing
It's
for
a
me
taste
with the
thing
jelly.
too.
That
Cheese
is
and
not a
Well-
taste thing.
Well, I was talking about the PB&J, Jake. I wasn't
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about the cheese.
That's right. See,
yeah,
cheese
the
and peanut
PB&J
butter
is
is
probably more
fine
of a
to
texture
Alex.
thing. But cheese
Yeah.
and
Jacob-
whatever she said, peanut butter, that's a taste thing.
I've
Oh, for
never
fuck's
heard
sake.
of Trev. Bestie, I've never heard of that
Okay,
before.
okay.
in my
Have you
life.
ever seen those crackers
again,
that
to
have
each
like
his
the
own.
peanut butter crackers and they have the cheese in the middle?
But that's
snack-
way
No.
different. That's not even
How
real
is it
cheese.
different?
I've never.
It's
heard
not
of
cheese. It's not real
that.
cheese. It's like malto dioxide
Yeah,
carbonate.
that's
poison or
like
some shit.
watermelon flavoring. I love it, but it don't taste nothing like watermelon.
I've
You
heard
know,
of
these
like
flavors.
peanut butter and like snacks, but not like peanut butter and cheese.
Dude,
inside
I
of,
grew
like,
up on
an
peanut butter and
M&M.
cheese. That was like a staple of my
You
home
talk about the
life.
cheese
Wow.
crackers.
No,
they have
no,
the
You also
no.
grew up in
peanut butter inside.
Iowa.
And
Oh, yeah.
A weird state to grow
Where?
up in.
Iowa, fine.
Idaho.
Where? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Ohio?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, the weirdest thing we do is put cheese on chili. That's the weirdest thing that Ohio does.
That's like the
outside of-
most normal
Mean.
thing
That's
ever.
That is not the weirdest thing
normal.
Ohio does.
No.
I've heard a
Ohio
lot of
gave
true
birth
crime
to
shit in
Ohio- Ohio
if I'm
gave
being
birth to
honest.
Howard the Duck.
No, that was George Lucas, or actually Marvel. That's actually technically Marvel, Trev. I don't
That
know.
is
Ohio.
that is still Ohio birthed it. It was in Ohio.
That wasn't by choice. I don't think it was even filmed in Ohio.
Cleveland is in Ohio.
Yes.
Enough said.
So,
Yes. Cleveland.
Cleveland.
you know what the funny part? Ironically, like Ohio, Cleveland looks nothing like that. That looks like Los Angeles, which is the funny part. Like it looks nothing like Cleveland, which is ironic to funny to me. Anyways, I couldn't find the no, sir. I don't like the whatever the concoction Trev was coming
Cheese
up
and
with.
peanut butter?
Where's the mute button?
Cheese
just
and peanut butter.
Oh my god, there's a
Cheese
grilled
and
cheese
peanut butter.
exists.
I mean, to
What?
each his own, but I can't get behind you on that one. I'm gonna have a
That's
hard time helping you defend that.
crazy.
I'm not asking you to. I know that I'm right.
Good. I'm not.
It's like apple pie and cheese. It's just get out,
It's n-
out.
I guess
No,
that
No,
is
we
a
can talk
thing.
about
You know
ketchup
what,
and macaroni
Trev?
and
You do
cheese. That's
you.
fine.
What is it, Alex?
Or salsa
Oh,
and
I was
macaroni
like-
and cheese.
Salsa and macaroni and cheese sounds fantastic.
I made macaroni and cheese and sausage. Like sausage. and
Again, that
macaroni and cheese
sounds
tonight
normal to me.
For
I had a Michelina's.
Here's one. Here's
thing
one
with-
for you. Here's one for you. Chili and cinnamon rolls.
that's a thing.
Trev, get
don't
out.
agree with
Like,
it.
Ow.
like, wait.
I
Like
don't
the
agree with
chili
it.
beans or the chili spice?
Okay,
guess
you
but
do
you
put
have the
cinnamon in
hot
chili.
spicy chili, and then you have the sweet cinnamon roll.
Look, I don't agree with it, but it is a thing.
See, exactly.
So is
It's like a-
bestiality,
What happens
but
when
I
you-
don't agree with it.
It's
a
a
thing,
staple
but I
of-
don't
of-
agree with
of-
it.
This
like
is
I
what
don't
happens
live
when-
either. Do I live
This is what
under a
happens when you
rock?
stand around corn too much. You
Oh,
get these weird
Jesus.
dreams.
You know what? You're
is, it,
cornist.
is there a guy in the corn too? Is there like a Randall flag
No,
out there?
there's not.
Is he
There's
giving you
not.
these dreams?
No.
Anyway, so
Real
Pip,
positive.
Max is a
Yeah.
bookie. He kinda young
Praise
kid
of
named
pimps.
Georgie. Praise of pimps. A pimp in the house. So George Renaud is the individual who made a bet. Who made a bet?
A pimp in the house.
In praise of a pimp in
Pimp
the
named
house.
Sweetback in the
I think you
house.
broke her. Oh no.
Pimp
that's
in
the thing that
distress.
broke her
Pimp in
neck.
distress.
You got a pimp slap on.
Call me Iceberg Slim. It's all right, pimping. Calm down.
You know the famous song, right?
In the house.
Hey, you know the famous Oscar-winning song. It's hard out here for a pimp in the house.
Oh my
No.
god.
Look, we got Nick on it finally.
I'm
It
having a
just-
week, guys. I'm having a week, so I'm going to derail the podcast quite a bit, apparently. So
Do it.
We're always happy to have
it.
derailing.
So, anyways, Max, the father of Pip, who's in Vietnam having issues with his woundedness.
Stuck in my head now.
He cons a kid named Georgie out of making a bad bet for $300, which I think he said $1,300. They took it to a bookie, Mr. Moran, who he turns on when he finds out his son has been mortally wounded, might die. The turn is pretty quick. I was like 11 minutes into the episode. I'm like, wait, the episode's halfway over already? I'm really confused what's happening. And I mean, I don't know. Like the loss of a son in war sucks, but
Oh my god.
Who the hell's doing that? Turn that off.
Clearly. So I feel like kind of a dumbass.
Unprofessional.
Like did Max con Georgie, or did he say you're not gonna do this bet? Because he seemed like he was protecting them, yeah? Or did I completely miss that? Reminder that I was trying to watch this in a bar in between.
I don't know if
rounds
he
of trivia.
conned him or if he just gave him advice that he probably shouldn't have taken. And the kid was like, "You said this was like a surefire win." And he's like, "Well, that's why you shouldn't listen to people, dumbass." He's like, "Yeah, I did, but shit happens." I think
Early
he's just
enough
giving
to-
him a dose of real
I
life.
guess he was. It seemed like George was, I guess, quote unquote, like suckered into a bad bet,
Got it.
and
okay.
then essentially George came to Max for help, saying that he made the bet on loaned money and would go to jail if he doesn't get it back.
Oh, I
So
thought
consequently, yeah, there.
I
I
thought
guess it
Max
was, like-
told him. I thought he was the one who said it was a good bet,
I guess so, but then I guess it like.
or was it somebody else? Maybe I misinterpreted that.
It was a Sydney Greenstreet guy.
I'm just
Yeah,
wondering why
I guess
he.
it was just some shitty bet that just had consequences to it either way. And
Possibly.
then the like head bookie was like upset about it and was trying to just ultimately get the $300 that I guess was sort of badly
Owed him.
placed.
Yeah. All I can
Yeah,
say is the head
so-
bookie made me think of Sydney Greenstreet from Casablanca or from Maltese Falcon. I don't know why.
I gotta go back and watch it. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Oh, it's
I love that
fantastic.
movie.
I just put it on my
Yeah, it
Plex.
is.
the other day.
Nice. You got good taste.
Oh my god, the wiki
my
said
mom
he
did.
killed both men.
Max did?
Yeah, it's like it
Yeah.
isn't entirely.
I thought they were
it-
just unconscious.
Well, no, I
didn't
knew
realize
he
like-
stabbed. He stabbed the enforcer guy because he had the knife, and I thought maybe like the gun went off and like either killed Moran or because Max is shot in the gut, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
He-
shot
he's
in
the-
like I think it's because I know that Max got like his mortal wound was like in the abdomen, I think it was. And I think that was kind of a similar vicinity of where Max's injury also was.
Right.
I want to
That
say.
makes
But only
sense.
one.
But also
Only
like
one shot goes off though, so it's really
Yeah, but,
confusing.
like,
So
it's-
Miranda, is it like a
Wikipedia-
ricochet bullet?
yeah, it's
Is it like is this like wanted or something like that? What
It's
the
like
fuck?
magic
what the hell?
bullet. Well, I mean,
Like
Kennedy
RoboCop.
died the same year, so
Well, I know Max got shot, but then I guess he had enough energy and like rage, I guess, over finding out about Pip that like I guess he used the knife that he had to kill both men.
Well, the thing about
That was-
gut,
adrenaline and Diet Coke.
So I guess
No, the-
even if he survived, he probably would have been put in jail.
yeah.
But
Well, the one thing that they always say about gut wounds is that they take forever if you're going to die from them, you die slowly.
Yeah, it's a slow death that like a cowboy shoots you in the desert. You're like,
Yeah.
I guess
You're
depending on
dead,
the
you
placement,
don't know it
there's
yet.
still like some survival rate, I would feel.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
he was in the middle of a city,
Yeah.
so I think he could have pulled through.
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean the main bookie guy, Moran, he is from Cleveland, Ohio. So I mean they die just like randomly. He probably just fell over and died. That's what happens when you're from Cleveland. You just die randomly.
What happened?
Or,
Cleveland.
your
In
your
the
name is
house.
Ginger. Your name is Ginger. And you get stabbed in the ear by a duck. It's just weird shit. I don't know. you guys quote Howard the Duck all the time, and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well,
Terrible.
I haven't seen that
people.
movie since I was a kid.
Um,
How have you not seen that movie since a kid? You watch all
I
kinds of
just
weird
haven't
shit.
seen it.
I watched Howard the Duck all the time when I was a
Good
kid.
for you,
I'd
Alex.
watch it again. I just don't have it like with me. Do I? I don't know. I might.
There's a scene in a bar where the cherry bombs, the Leia Thompson band, are being hustled by their manager, who's played by. He's the guy that does the. He's the guy at Ferris Bueller's Day Off that does like the. He takes a vehicle with his friend. He's the guy with the
Yeah.
mustache.
oh yeah.
Anyways, Howard
Hey, yeah,
confronts
man.
him. Anyways, Howard confronts him and stabs him in the ear. Says you're going to release the cherry bombs from their contract.
I don't
I
remember.
totally
I remember
forgot that
duck
part.
boobs. I do remember duck boobs.
Of course, you remember duck boobs.
Hot ass duck boobs.
I have like
Priorities.
no context for the movie, so I'm just
The movie's
gonna-
very
Duck
weird. We'll
boobs.
just
That's all
leave
you
it
need
at
to
that.
know.
Well,
And
I
John
knew
Lithgow.
about Leah
right?
Thompson.
No,
I knew about Leah Thompson liking Howard the Duck in the movie, but that's
she has sex with the duck.
that's all I know.
Not
well,
John
yes,
Lithgow.
but I
Tim Robbins.
yes, I have been made aware of
No.
that existing.
It's not. I'm getting this and Buckaroo Banzai mixed up. It's not John Lithgow and it's not Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins is in it. It's the guy from Beetlejuice.
Jeffrey Jones, the sexual
Jeffrey Jones,
predator,
Yeah.
sexual
the
yeah.
pedophile.
He's like that guy the whole time.
He has a tongue that comes out and sticks into a cigarette lighter. It's a very
Yes.
weird movie, Alex. Let's just leave it at that.
It's
Don't ever
incredibly
watch it.
They
weird.
told him this is a small child. And he's
Yeah,
Oh.
just never watch
Oh.
You know what? You know what isn't weird?
What's
Going
that?
to the fair with your adult but transformed 10-year-old son.
it at midnight or whatever time it is when there's
And
nobody
the place
there.
is still open.
hey,
Well,
that's
it's
in
closed.
praise
Yeah.
of pimping.
Well, the place was closed,
Apparently-
but then magically opened up for them. You know that isn't strange at all. That isn't peculiar.
No,
That
not
doesn't
at
make
all.
Anyway, he
sense.
chases after and they play on the Ferris
They have
wheel.
a grand
and-
old time. They have like a montage of good times.
I just needed like Beach Boys music behind it or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But would it be like God Only Knows or what's the other
Well-
songs? What's the one that was in 1408? The God, what was
Uh,
that song?
You know what it is. That one song.
Oh no, that's a different band. Never mind. Anyways, we'll go with
I don't wanna
just
say
random
it, but
Beach
you
Boys
go ahead.
song. I get
wish they
around.
all could be California
But
girls.
I
That'd
did
be
find
very
out that
weird.
it was filmed in Pacific Ocean Park that was in Santa Monica.
Cool.
I guess it was supposed to compete with Disneyland, but I guess eventually just kind of closed down.
I think that happened to a lot of places. I did have to
Yeah.
laugh because there was a couple of times when I don't know if they were just supposed to be because it was black background and they were kind of half dissolved over other things that they were doing, but it kind of
Mhm.
gave me four people or the four of us are dying vibes because it was kind of like neutral background. Like I don't know if they were supposed to be on like a roller coaster because they seemed like they were doing something in that respect, but all I could think was that or oh god,
Are you sure you
Maybe
weren't
it's one
watching
of-
the Cat Lady episode?
that's what I was thinking about.
I
It
was
kind of looked
thinking
like
it was
that
probably
too.
three.
What the hell?
Mhm. It
Oh,
could be one
shit.
of those like spinning rides or something.
Yeah,
You
true.
could have just been a generic like ride vehicle of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
been anything.
there were moments that were very much Jacob's favorite episode.
Perchance, could you be talking about?
No, I don't know what
Perchance
you're
Dream?
talking about. No. All I was
No,
missing was a cat lady.
Jacob's dream, the perchance to dream. Okay, so he goes on. He goes and plays with his kid, gives him some information about his life and how he should be happy. And Pip gets scared by some random thing behind him. Was that?
I think
like
he was
death or something like
dying.
that?
Yeah, he was dying
Because
basically.
he does just stop. He's like, yeah. And like, gets up.
I mean,
have
he
to
plays
go.
it
Why?
well for
I'm
sure.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
Bill
it's
Mummy's
very
good. I mean,
Yeah.
Bill Mummy's like the perfectly fine young kid actor for
Better than
playing
he
his
was
young son.
in the cornfield episode.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
almost thought like Mr.
Well, that's when he
Death was gonna
disappears from
come or
the-
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wishes himself
But,
to the
yeah.
cornfield from the House of Mirrors.
But this I think
What
was
is-
was and I know he was a little bit older with this one than what he was with the It's a Good Life and
Long distance call.
long distance call. But I think this was for me at least, this was his best episode. He didn't I know it's a different character, but he just felt more in with it.
Was he
in
better
other
in
words.
this than he was in the 1980s Twilight Zone? Reprising
Probably.
his role.
Yes.
He
Mm,
wasn't. I've seen that episode.
No?
He was
Okay.
definitely better in this than he was in the 2000s sequel to,
It was 2000s, yeah, not 1980s.
yeah,
That's the one I was talking
which was fucking awful. What a piece of shit.
about. With his daughter.
What what a huge piece. I can't wait to talk about how awful that episode is.
5 years.
Yes, yeah, 5 years. It's gonna take us 5 years to get to that episode, of course.
Quite possibly.
But he runs into a house of mirrors, and I appreciate when they do House of Mirrors because it's got to be virtually impossible to film in a house of mirrors with
Oh,
the
that was
camera.
so well
You know,
done. I kept watching the background trying
So-
to see all that stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for Alex to say something at some point. Like, did you see the mic coming down? Do you see the random crew member in the background? Because it could be
Okay, I did
very
that
easily.
once.
No,
That
I'm
was
just saying,
obvious.
I'm just saying, like, I was assuming that you saw something because I miss that shit all the time. I miss the whole boom mic coming up. I had to go back and rewatch it as I was editing the episode to go, wait, when did it happen? Like, oh shit, that happens like 18 times in that episode. So I was like,
Yeah, but
I was
it's
waiting
funny
for
'cause
the
it's
mirrors.
but yeah, it's like you mentioned, it's like it. I feel like it would have been a little more like forgiving in an episode like this where you're working with limited space versus, you know, when on Thursday we leave for home because they are in just sort of this larger, I don't know, cave
Yeah.
setting. But I don't know. I liked how the House of Mirrors segment though was very introspective, but it also wasn't like, but they made it to where it wasn't just directly like confrontational. Like you knew in a way he was like I guess like talking to himself, but also potentially not. Like there was sort of, I guess I was having questions about like the reality of Hip actually like being present as a 10-year-old in his dreams, but then again, I think that's a whole kind of can of worms. But
Well, it could
um
be the whole idea that he's seeing his son before he dies because he does make that please
yeah,
take me instead of my son, but it never really goes into detail about was his son always going to be saved or was his son really, I mean, I know they say he's mortally wounded, they have to take him to an operating room or whatever, but you never get this might be my only problem. You never get the idea of like that he's in like maybe you could add it for like a little bit longer episode that he's in the ER being operated on. They're like, oh my god, we're losing him. And then of course Max is like, I'll take my life, I'll save my child. And they're like, oh my god, he's coming back. His heart's beating, you know. Oh my god, look at that heart. It's bleeding everywhere, but he's alive, you know. It's just like
Look at that heart.
well, I think it's almost like One for the Angels, where it's like you're made aware of, at least in that episode, you're aware of, I guess I'll just say like the generic protagonist, you know, potentially like not wanting to go, whether that's sort of like made apparent in just like dialogue or not, and then having like a child that could potentially be like, you know, at end, you know, or that can almost play a bit of a conflict between who's gonna go between the two of them, and then having that sort of selfless sacrifice from someone who is initially portrayed as like being selfish. You know, arguably, I guess with Klugman's character here, or with Max, he very much comes across as someone who has been very, I guess, self-centered, but also someone who didn't prioritize his son as much as, you know, I guess like a parent, like you would expect a parent to conventionally be. And I guess comparatively with One for the Angels, he, like the protagonist in there is, you know, very much caring for these neighborhood children, but is able to sort of, you know, manipulate sort of how things are meant to go initially for Mr. Death to sort of let him live a little longer just for him to do like his big pitch for the Angels. And then that's when he is head to head with whether he wants to hold on to that like self-centered, but he has an ultimatum about like that self-centered sort of decision that he made to complete for his life, or to pretty much set aside the life that he had with how he eventually fulfilled that pitch for the Angels, but for Mr. Death in that episode, in order for the girl to live. So at least that's how I at least was sort of comparing it. I think also just because I recently watched One for the Angels again, and personally that is like one of my favorite episodes. But I would say like I think it's just more of sort of allowing the character to be faced with that ultimatum, and then kind of taking I don't know what it's called. It's like almost like taking the upper hand of it and making the more selfless,
The high road.
taking more of the high road versus like, to kind of show that there was at least some kind of character arc between when we were introduced to like that protagonist versus like when we see him sort of like depart.
So again, I might have missed things. I never saw Max as, and obviously he talks about, I've had a checkered past. I'm not the greatest of people. Was a bookie. I, wasn't there for my kid. I never got the sense, and maybe just Jack Klugman, there's that predetermined bias that you sometimes have with people that you like, but I never got the sense that he was bad people, Am I crazy?
Well, he
I think he's a
mentions,
good
I
person
mean,
that does bad
yeah.
things.
There, that makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
like he has like good intentions, but he obviously has taken a path in his life that has led him to not necessarily be a part of his son's life, or
Right.
has possibly negatively impacted his son's life because of his own decisions. And that I, is mentioned is coming from like him being an alcoholic
Yeah.
and, also being a bookie, which I guess you can argue it's like when you kind of gamble and you make bets, it's not necessarily the most like stable and secure thing.
Oh, definitely
kind of
not.
regardless of like whatever sort of avenue or context there is with that. So
Right.
I think it's just more of like him making personal mistakes that subsequently added like repercussions onto Pip's life,
Yeah.
to where, as a kid, he was at least like there for him in some regard, because he has that flashback to like taking him to the fair, but it's not like that kind of love and care and sort of I'm putting this person first was maybe present as Pip got older and then, enlisted in the military and everything. So I think it's just one of those things where it's like he could have been continuing to take Pip to the fair in the same way that, we did as a kid, or like try to give more, I guess, more of a nurturing sort of, I guess, upbringing for Pip. But because of like where he took his life, he ultimately regretted like what that kind of led to ultimately. So like the end of the episode was almost him trying to right the wrongs. But
Makes sense.
it's not as like visually like apparent or sort of like thrown at you, I think, in the same way as other episodes where you see someone who just isn't a great person, right?
Yeah.
And you see them, burn bridges or make some kind of detrimental mistake, or, fall in this path that is destructive in some kind of way. And it's like, no human is perfect or anything, but I think it's just one of those episodes, at least within Praise of Pip, where it definitely falls in line more with there being like a positive ending to it, and it being more of like how like your life doesn't have to necessarily be defined by your past in a way that you can, I don't know, that's at least how I see it. Maybe I'm just putting a little more into it than the episode offered, but
I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I think you can infer a lot of stuff just by the relationship and by other people that have kind of gone through the situation, whether you knew them in life or not. But yeah. So, and I guess when it came down to, from the beginning, and I don't know if you guys saw this, did you kind of, if you've seen the episode recently, did you, or haven't seen the episode recently, did you sort of guess where things were going with the ending?
Yeah, I didn't see it as like it's not what I would call the most complex ending because you can kind of see once the son is in basically he's mortally wounded and he's going into surgery and you see that Max is hurt, you can kind of justify where it's going to go and it kind of I it's not really a surprise. It's not like, oh, he's gonna die or he's gonna live and his son's gonna die. That would have been a bigger surprise than if he had. But yeah, I kind of saw where it was going.
Yeah, once I had the information, once I understood that's his son that's on the operating table and he was a deadbeat dad and had it, all that stuff, I was like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. Basically, I mean, I didn't know it was going to go down exactly like it did, but I figured something along those lines.
Same boat generally. You figured because, it's Twilight Zone and it's a warm, fuzzy type episode, it's going to be headed in that general direction. So,
Yeah, as melancholy and somber as the ending is, there is an aura of like happiness to it. Like it almost feels like because he was able to be with the son in his last few minutes of his life, instills some kind of knowledge or he instills something of himself onto his son. And it almost feels like when his son came to life, it almost feels like, yeah, these two, either he learned this as he was dying or whatever, the son, or his father had instilled some stuff in it. It's just kind of like that might be like the most supernatural thing when he's at the shooting gallery and like he said, oh, don't chew or something like that, but aim or whatever he says. It almost feels like he said that because he said that the earlier in the episode, that it kind of imparted onto him, like almost like it was like future stuff going to the past. I don't know if that makes
Right.
any sense.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was an alcoholic. We can give him that. He liked his whatever whiskey or rum or whatever he's drinking.
Bourbon.
I think he just kind of had his life at some point took a turn, and he made some bad decisions, and he just kind of went down the road. He didn't like try and change it, and he devolved into this not a bad guy, but just someone who was like doing bad things and living not a very good life. And I think that's what you guys had mentioned earlier about, was he having a vision when he woke up? When we first meet him, he's like, "Ah," that trope, waking up out of a dream. I don't think he was necessarily dreaming about his son. I think that was just to kind of signify that he's just a tormented soul, human being. He probably wakes up like that most days and nights. And as soon as he got up, he started drinking and he's like smoking and just kind of a sad existence. And like when the kid comes in, the kid's all like, man, I owe this money, and the money I bet I borrowed and all this, and I'm going to get fired. And my life's this is a turning point for me. And my life's about to go to shit. And he's just like, yep, them's the breaks, kid. Life sucks. But then it contradicts that a bit, because apparently he forgives the loan, and that starts the whole issue with him and the bookie. So I guess that's supposed to show that while he is kind of this hardened individual, he does have that heart of gold, if you will. He's not a total just terrible person. But I don't feel like it takes much pushing to get him to do bad things, because he's just kind of there.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was all about the doing coke, drinking beers. So, anyways, with that said, that's the end of the episode. He dies. His son lives. His son remembers something he said to him, and he shoots a
Shoot the what?
game, a shooting range.
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
the
whatever you wanna call it.
work the gun and not the draw quote.
Yep. Oh, one other kind of fun thing. Let's see, where is it here? Favorite Twilight Zone episode of Serling's daughter Anne. Watching it, she noticed several conversations between son Pip and father Pop were almost identical to the banter she had with her dad. Serling nicknamed his daughter Pop, not Pip, and the final image on screen, which fits the narrative, was also a personal message to his daughter, according to.
Well, I mean,
That kind of
to be
sounds like
fair,
it has some there might be some other reasons beyond the narrative that she cares for this episode, maybe.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
well, I mean, to be fair, like maybe Rod was like had some regrets, because he was in the war and he felt like maybe he wasn't as good of a father he could be. I mean, I don't know that for sure. Like I haven't spoken with Anna Sterling or anything like that, but it just feels like
I would assume though too that, yeah, exactly. Any parent is going to have some of that. I mean, that's just the nature of stuff.
How bad did I fuck this kid up? Where did I go wrong? What could I have done better? All that. All parents that aren't absent
Yeah.
are gonna think that at some point. I could have done
Absolutely.
this, I could have done that.
Ones who get
I
milk.
mean,
become
Jacob's thought
bad.
about that 7 different times,
Still thinking it. Still thinking it.
But anyways, with that said, that's the episode. That 25 minutes, they're gone. No 50-minute episodes anymore. So, any closing thoughts on the episode? Anything you guys wanted to bring up? Anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about? There's of course the landlady. But of course, the landlady finds his bottle of alcohol and she reads the telegram. There's not much to her character, to be fairly honest.
Yeah.
She's just there as support. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Anybody?
I
I
was
really-
gonna say the same like fact that Triv gave about how like Anne shared in her memoir about like how the episode sort of resonated and also kind of correlated to like her relationship with her dad. And I thought that was pretty wholesome.
Yeah, very sweet. That would be a thing too, like you do this thing as a kid and then you watch it back when you're older and more mature and you go, oh my God,
Yeah, for sure.
messages from beyond or whatever. So,
Mhm.
but no, it's a solid episode. And obviously, like we've talked, Jack Klugman elevates it. Pip is good in it. He, for the little screen time that he has where he actually speaks, I think he does well. Bill Mumy is good.
Mummy?
Yeah, Mummy, sorry.
Jake, do you
It's
have any
in San
thoughts?
Francisco, Trev. It's not the meeting.
I'm sorry. I like peanut butter and cheese. Forgive me.
Yeah. all right.
Trev,
That's
Yeah.
Door.
forgivable.
No, I'm staying right here. You're stuck with me. Ha ha.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
about
I
peanut
really
butter
like the
banana
episode.
though?
That's
What, like
fine.
the
I'll
king?
give you that.
The king. That's what Elvis ate.
Oh,
Peanut
so
butter, banana, and bacon. I can't remember. There's a sandwich he made with peanut butter,
oof.
banana, and something else.
I will say, if you like butter on your bagel, you gotta get out too.
No.
What? Butter on a
Huh?
bagel's okay.
Oof.
No, it's not.
Oof.
Butter on any
Awful.
bread is okay.
Oof.
Bread, yeah, like any other type of bread, sure, but bagel.
A bagel is bread.
Out. Out. Close the door.
Nick is very specific.
You know what else
Yeah, I
is
need my garden
specific?
vegetable cream cheese.
Do you know what
Agreed.
else is specific?
What's that?
The closing narration.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I think Alex just wants to get out. She's like, I'm out. We talk about weird combinations of cheese and pimps in the house and
Okay,
all
but
kinds
you're
of
about to be like, bread. Let's talk about the bread though.
No,
instead
I
of
know, I
filling.
know,
I
I
was
know.
like,
I'm
we
kidding.
can't keep going.
Anyways, that is in praise of Pip. Jacob, you and your closing narration. Let's have at it. I don't like the I don't like the last part of this closing narration, but we'll talk about that.
Okay. I was looking at that sandwich. Oh well. Closing narration. Very little comment here, save for this small aside. That the ties of flesh are deep and strong. That the capacity to love is a vital, rich, and all-consuming function of the human animal. And that you can find nobility and sacrifice and love wherever you may seek it out. Down the block, in the heart, or in the Twilight Zone.
All right, so Rod, I have a few qualms with your writing here.
Were
Okay,
you pissed off
okay.
that he didn't talk about the cockles of his heart?
No. And that you can find nobility and sacrifice and love whenever you may seek it out. Down the block in the heart of the Twilight Zone. Why do we need or in the Twilight Zone? Why can't we just have down the block in the Twilight Zone or down the block in the heart of the Twilight Zone? Why does he need to add or in the? That it's such. Oh
Well,
God.
isn't it down the block, comma, in the heart, comma, or in the Twilight Zone?
Yeah, but you could go down the block, comma, in the heart of the Twilight Zone, or down the block in
Well,
the
it's not
Twilight
saying
Zone.
in the heart of the Twilight Zone. It's saying in the heart. You can find it down the block. You can find it in your heart, or you can find it in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Then right in your heart, you can find it down
I'm
the
with
block
Jake's
in your
take.
heart or the Twilight Zone. It's like it's such weird wording to me.
Yeah,
My
that's
problem
kind of
is
Rod
Jacob-
Serling.
Well, okay. Well, it was peanut butter, banana, and bacon, by the way.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well,
Oof.
And
I've seen people.
we can eliminate the bacon.
So it's
it
heart
doesn't,
attack
it
heaven.
doesn't
basically.
sound good, but I ain't gonna lie. The picture of it looks good. I'll leave it at that. I've had it when I went to Graceland, but I don't remember it.
That's
Why
Anyway.
don't you remember it?
I don't know. Well, that trip was odd. It came off of a drunken bender. We were. At a
I was
club.
gonna.
I
Okay,
just-
that's all you need to say.
we
right
left the
there.
club at like 1:00 in the morning and just started driving. Ended up like hundreds of miles the other direction. Had to get a hotel because we were just driving straight. And then we're like, "Hey, we're in Memphis the next morning. Let's go to."
Did you go
a thrift
walking
shop."
in Memphis?
No,
walking
hell
with your
no. I'm here.
That's true.
I went walking in Memphis, especially.
Did
in
you really
Graceland.
feel the way you felt?
Did I? What? I'm
Uh,
missing something here. I went to Graceland. That's
Did
it.
you see? Did you? Oh,
It's in the hood.
Did you see anyone on Union Avenue, where you walked up to the gates of Lake Graceland, but you watched the
drove
ghost
up.
walk right through? Security
This is
did not
song-
see them,
this is-
but
this is-
he was standing there. There's a pretty little thing waiting for the king
all
down in
that
the
stuff,
jungle room.
all of it. In the
While you were
jungle?
walking in Memphis? No, in the jungle room.
Oh.
When you were walking
Jacob,
in
all,
Memphis.
Jacob, all I'll say is I like the way you move in Electric Avenue.
Oh my god.
Okay, now we are old. I'm
Well,
sorry,
yeah.
Alex. I'm sorry.
No, I like the way you move is an Outcast song. It's not that old. I
Yeah,
like the
that's-
way you move.
You can also
Yeah.
shake it like a
I
Polaroid
like
camera.
the way you
Shake it,
move.
shake it, shake it.
I love the way.
Shake it, shake it like a Polaroid picture.
My friend's little girl was little when that came out, and she would sing that she would shake it like a polar bear.
Take it like a polar bear picture.
Get some
I feel
sugar.
man, it kind of sucks.
I
that
am your
Outkast broke up
neighbor.
with that album.
Alex, do you know who
Oh,
Outcast
sorry,
is?
Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am
Hmm.
for real.
Was there a question?
Did
The
you know who
tangent
Outkast
zone.
is?
Never meant to make your monkeys cry.
I don't know, letting
Anyways.
macaroni dry. I don't know.
So that is In Praise of Pip, season 5, episode 1 in the books. Without further ado, let's do the closing narration. I mean,
Already did that.
Ranking list.
Thank you. Twilight Zone ranking
the
list. The greatest ranking list that I
closing
completely
ranking
forgot
list.
about, but didn't read it out.
That's okay.
I feel like whenever we start these things, Alex just goes off. They're olding out again.
I was looking at the list. Okay.
They're olding
I
out
was
again.
about to ask if we can get the list, and I
They're
didn't
singing like
Hey.
already
show tunes
put
or
it.
some
The list.
The
the
real
list.
question I have to ask is, can you dig it?
No.
Can you dig it?
I can't. I don't have arms that work.
Okay, so for the ranking, can we have it be
Warriors.
We're not
can we
putting
have it be
69.
38?
Real
Let's
Yes,
quick,
put
do you
put it 38.
38.
No, we can put it at 40, not 38.
all right, do you guys
69.
want to know where it's with Pace
No,
and
but
IMDb?
it would be
69 boys.
it would be above Perchance to Dream.
Come on,
There you go.
baby. Kick them daisies.
I already did.
That's
my
what Jacob
69
wants. We
joke.
don't want
It's
that.
fine.
That's what Jacob
That is
wants.
true.
Oh, baby.
Do you guys
Oh.
do you guys want to know where it ranked with Paste and IMDb?
Never mind.
All
Can we have
right.
it be Can we have it be 40 or 41?
Put your hand up on my hip when I dip you dip.
Oh,
we
good
dip.
lord, here we go.
I realized I looked at it.
Put your hand up.
I looked at it opposite of what I was gonna say.
That's okay. It fell
Whoops.
79 with Paste for being overly schmaltzy, and it was at 72 for IMDb. So
Overly
right in the middle of the
schmaltzy.
pack, really.
Yeah,
It's some.
that's reasonable.
It's like some old Jewish man wrote that.
Well,
It's overly
I-
schmaltzy. It's lots of schmaltz going on.
Damn right.
I felt it in my schmeckle.
Mm,
But he then he goes, aha.
There is no spoon. Ah.
I almost feel like putting
Okay,
it
let's get serious
around-
now, people. Let's get serious.
I was about to
Uh,
say I was joking initially, but I do actually
Sure,
think
there
that,
is no
like,
joking in this podcast. You know that.
No.
All right, let me
absolutely
open
not.
the chat and look at this.
Alex,
Okay, so
there
around
is
like
definitely joking in this podcast.
75.
75. Where were we
I
at?
said around. I don't know where.
I mean, is this like
Um,
in the realm of like The Hunt or No Time Like the Past or
39.
I mean, are we gonna put it that far down? Is it better than the After Hours? Is it worse? Hocus Pocus and Frisbee, Elegy. I sent you the list.
I don't want to look for that.
Elegy is 69. Hocus Pocus
It's
is
better than all that.
68.
It's so much better. 39.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
I would put
So
this as
good.
high as like 100 yards over the rim. That's
100
just me.
yards over the room. Where is that? That is.
Oh, it's 100
But she
yards.
wasn't down
Wow.
near the chaser in third from the sun.
Where is 100 yards over the rim?
43.
43?
Oh, Jacob
I-
knows that one. God.
It's
See,
in my
I'm not
wheelhouse
sure-
right now.
I'm not sure I can put it that high. Like, it's a good episode. It's got a lot of good stuff going with it. I don't know that I could put it that high.
Fine. I guess we can rate it for real.
So, Jake, would you have put Jezebel above Perchance to Dream? Or The Incredible World of Horace Ford?
She's
Not
asking
Horace
the
Ford,
real
no.
questions out here.
I'm dropping the
Jizzy
hardcore
Bells?
ones.
Jizzy Balls? I don't know.
Jizzy
I'd have to
Bells.
watch. I haven't seen Perchance to Dream since I saw it. I felt as if that was enough.
As he says with a 100-yard stare.
Probably not. I'd probably put it above Jizzy Balls.
Wait, which one?
Perchance to
Here's-
Dream.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
totally separate subject.
I've told
like,
you guys,
wait, we're
I don't
putting
think
this
it's the
episode down
worst
there?
episode ever.
No, I know. That's
I just
fine.
think it is like woefully misplaced.
That
It should be
happens.
way further up. If it was at like 60, I'd probably be like, whatever.
See that, and
You'd never hear anything about it.
but it's good that we do hear about it because it's one of those reoccurring jokes. It's like a piano in
The house.
or a pip in,
No, pimp slap in the house.
pimp slap in. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So Nick, you said 43.
Praise a pimpin'.
Yeah,
myself-
is that what I said?
I think so. For me,
Where'd you say?
he
Where
said
was it?
43.
We're off 43. No, I think 100 yards over the rim's better.
Yeah.
More entertaining.
I
Most
just started
unusual
there.
camera.
Like we're in
Oh,
between
fair.
what
I like
Alex
most
said, which was
unusual camera.
75, and what
Look,
I said.
I'm telling you now, if you get that close to 39, I'm gonna start preaching for 39.
Honestly, like
if you get within the vicinity of 39, I'm drawn to it.
I said like around. Well, I guess to better clarify, it wouldn't necessarily be like right at 75. I was thinking like right below Night of the Meek,
75.
which would make like
70.
71. But I can see it being a little higher, like almost where. What was the place I was looking at? I just saw it.
I have an affinity for the sci-fi episodes, so that's a tough one for me.
yeah.
I have an affinity for Man
I
wants
can
you to
see
do
it
it
being
Maple Street,
above
but
a
you don't see me
passage for
complaining.
trumpet
God.
somewhere.
It's at like
For
number
sure, though.
3.
Number 5, thank you very much.
Number 5. Well, oh, is that number 5? It's in the top 10. You can't complain.
Actually, he can.
He can't. He does.
I
He can,
will.
he does.
So we're putting this at number 1.
No.
That would be
I don't
actually
know.
insane.
Yeah. I think
Question.
yeah.
Answer.
Totally random, but it just popped in my head. When we like move on to the next show, are we gonna stick with the same list, or are we gonna start over?
No,
gonna have, like,
we're
a
not.
We're starting.
2000.
I assume you
Jacob,
start
we're not going to be in
over.
black and white. We're going to be in color. So you better get your color correction shit together.
No, I am.
You look like
not.
an orange pumpkin right now. No, you look like a red tomato.
That's
I
just-
think
Goes
that's just my
between being
screen.
like warm and
It's
cold.
probably just
one
me. Maybe
when
I'm
you
like-
when you move your head forward.
You're going through hot flashes, is what they're saying.
I'm going to stay in black and white because I don't feel like being in color anymore.
That's okay.
No, in all honesty, I mean, is this better than like The Fugitive, Prime Mover, What You Need?
I
Your
don't feel
image.
like it is. Like, especially what you need. This one, it's fine. But it kind of sticks to fine for me.
I mean, is this better than
See, that's what I
Jacob
said.
losing his tennis shoes?
Everybody was like, "Oh, this episode's so great." You don't agree with this? I was
No,
like, "I
but-
think it's fine." Now you guys are like, "Oh yeah, it's fine." I'm like, "What the fuck? What happened?"
Well, we're talking about it like
when?
Earlier, you guys. Were
I'm
like,
the one
"Oh."
apparently only liked. I'm probably the only one
I
who liked this
didn't
episode.
mind it.
I
I
didn't
thought
dislike it. I
it
didn't
had
hate
a
it.
lot of solid bits. Like the mirror
What
maze.
Because it's not a bit
Oh.
podcast. There's no
What did we
bits on this
spend the last
podcast.
hour and a half saying? Oh, it's a good episode.
It is a good episode, but it is very much
Yeah,
middle
where
of the road.
Where the fuck is
I
this
felt as if you
gaslighting
guys
from
were
these men
going
coming
more
from?
like higher up.
No.
Good episode. Like, oh, it's a really good episode. And I was like, eh,
It's a
it's
That was
solid.
me.
It's a solid Twilight Zone
God.
episode.
I put this
It's
at
got-
40.
It's got warm fuzzies. It's a nice story. Jack Klugman obviously elevates it, but it's certainly
Definitely.
not. I don't know.
What are
I
you saying
wouldn't go
about-
above.
This is what happens when your brain's full of peanut butter and cheese or whatever.
What
I'd
I'm
be in that
saying the
60, 70
exact
range,
same.
honestly.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, Passage for
Or
Trumpet was
39.
another Klugman one. This is better than that. I would say around like Passage for Trumpet, After Hours, Execution.
Well, I mean,
It's like we're on the same floor in a building, but in different sections of it.
Right.
I would say the same thing. Every time you have Abraham Lincoln in your episode, it usually sucks. So
Abraham Lincoln wasn't in this episode.
Only one of
yeah,
them.
but he's in
really
Patches for
sucked.
Trumpet, as well as
What?
a passerby.
Ugh.
Was he in Passage for Trumpet?
Yeah, he was the
No.
trumpeter. That was Abraham Lincoln.
Oh shit!
I'm
sorry.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
No,
he
he was
just
on.
looked like him.
But it was still Abraham Lincoln. Let me look this shit up. Hold on a second. You guys talk among yourselves.
Oh my
I gotta
god!
look
I'm
this up.
sorry.
Where's the
I'm trying to
passage-
remember.
was
There's
that season
one
one?
episode.
Oh, my
There's one episode where the guy travels back in time to when
ribs.
Lincoln potentially gets assassinated. But I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah,
remember
that
what it's
was
called.
which one was it? Not the After Hours, not the Whole Truth. Back There? Is it Back There?
Maybe.
Yeah, back there is where Abraham Lincoln gets shot.
Right.
He's not in the. Well, is he in the episode? I don't think he's in it. I think he's just.
I think he. Maybe I'm
pretty
thinking
sure
of.
he is.
Or am I thinking of that movie that he's Lincoln, the Lincoln movie that he's in, where you see him get shot?
Oh, he's
for
in
some reason?
Lincoln.
No. I was thinking like, do we see him in the shot of like when he goes to die? I'm like, I was thinking of something else. I don't think he isn't back there, but I don't know.
It's implied, but yeah.
I mean, he was in the
Back there where
barbecue.
there's so
Why?
much room, babies burp and flowers bloom. I can go there. You can go there too. Up there, up where. Okay. Anyways, where are we gonna put this? We're all like losing our sanity.
What else is new?
You guys decide. I'll put it wherever. I put it higher, but honestly, I'm like one
No,
of 4 people.
I think you bring good points to the table, Nick. I just didn't feel
You
as
lie, Trish.
strongly. Actually, I'm standing.
You lie.
I'm standing.
So is this better than Execution?
I think it's right around there. I don't know that it's.
Rip Van Winkle caper, The Parallel,
Yeah.
Mr. Beavis.
I like the
Jason.
I
Rip
will
Van
say, I
Winkle
think
caper.
the reason for me, like why I put it down, I guess as low as I did, where it's a little in the middle, was just because I feel like, as much as I really like this episode, I do feel like if it was like that memorable, then I feel like I would have kept it in mind, or like had to be like, oh yeah, I totally remember that episode. But I think because it's like one of those where it's like, at least for me personally, it's like on rewatch I was able to recollect things a little better. I guess that's why I put it like a little lower than like, I don't know, like Mirror Image, or like even the After Hours or Elegy, where it's like those are very much
Memorable.
they're very much like identifiable based on their titles, at least for me. So
Yeah. Fair.
that's where I was coming from. But
So do we want to do like under Rip Van Winkle caper? 71 or 72, I guess.
I would put
We
it
could go
above that because the
higher.
Rep.
I'd say like we
Oh,
could
yeah.
find a spot in the middle.
That's kind of where we are across between like 65 and 72.
I mean, there's Back There, The Whole Truth, Passage for Trumpet, After
Yeah.
Hours.
Well, I was gonna say it's like around like the Mind of the Matter, or between the Mind of the Matter and like Mirror Image. Like, would you think that like it can make it within like the 50s
I
as far
don't
as ranking, or do you think it would be like below Mirror Image somewhere?
personally.
I mean,
I
it's-
would personally. I like what you need for me is kind of that cutoff point. Like I can't
Mhm.
for myself. I wouldn't put this above. I wouldn't put this above what you need, which is 60.
Sometimes you gotta go where everybody knows your name. Dun, 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 dun. I just noticed your shirt. No,
Oh, there you go.
60s to 70s. I'm cool wherever.
Holy shit. Okay.
All right.
I've
God damn it! You made me fucking.
Okay,
make things for
I'm gonna put a rest of this.
Oh.
Is it better than Back There?
I don't remember Back There.
That was the Lincoln
We just
one.
talked about it.
No, I
remember
know, but
Back
I don't
There.
remember how I felt about it personally. Like I
We
remember
thought it was
this-
okay.
Okay, I thought it was okay then. Yeah, let's put it around that.
No,
The Whole
Triv,
Truth.
say what's on your chest. Don't have him speak
I
for
don't
you.
give a shit. Like I don't remember enough about how I felt about Back There to say one way or the other. Like Passage for Trumpet was fine. After Hours was a better one. Hocus Pocus and Frisbee was cute. I mean, I would
70.
say probably. I would say 65 or 66.
Fair.
I mean, The Whole Truth is the one with Khrushchev in the haunted vehicle.
I could see
The
that.
dealership.
68.
68 then. We'll just go 68.
So we're gonna do. How about that?
69.
Oh dear God. Here we go. Okay,
So
you know
above
what? Fuck,
Execution,
I'd say
fuck.
either
Point out.
After Hours.
I would say 67 or 68.
Okay, 60.
I'd like to point out number 69 is was Alex's first episode.
Oh, you're right.
Elegy.
Yeah.
Wow,
Six,
it's full circle.
yeah.
All right, so we're doing
67.
67.
67.
Nowhere near as
Great.
interesting a position, but okay, fine.
We can not every episode can be Alex's favorite number 69. I'm sorry.
I didn't even bring
wants-
it
she
up.
wants every
this
episode
time.
69.
I didn't even bring it up, bro.
You say
You're the
that,
one
but you're
who
still
was-
talking about it.
God, you
I
perv.
didn't say shit.
Damn perv.
He's the
These
one who
young kids
provoked
nowadays.
it.
I'm sorry that we've wrecked you, Alex. I know you were a nice,
I did it
clean,
one
good person
time.
when you.
One
That's what-
time because it was convenient And that was how it actually felt.
Wait. 69 is convenient?
It can be.
For
depends
some
on,
people,
We've
listen, I
corrupted-
can't speak
we've
from
corrupted
listen,
Alex.
I can't speak
definitely fun.
in a personal anecdote kind of way, but
Sure.
people just gotta do.
Sometimes you come in,
People,
you just laying across the bed 2 different ways, and it works out.
All right.
do what they
Or
want
the
to
floor.
do. It's not
Laying
up
across
to
the floor.
Huh?
I mean, a chair. I don't know if that would be convenient, but
Okay.
it could be like one of them big chairs.
Sexy time
Where the
with
fuck
Jake
did
is
the
over
chair
for now.
come from?
Never. Huh?
Alex,
chair-
I
how's that
understand
work?
if you don't
Let
want
me
to come
explain.
back.
I have visual aids. Hang on.
No. I don't even want to see those visual aids.
You do.
Anyways, so yes.
Hang on.
With that said,
Hang on. Twilight Zone After Dark.
isn't it like every episode of our podcast after dark?
Yeah. Very well. I
Kind
mean,
of like
it
the
is dark
Simpsons
outside.
Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah.
I feel like this podcast is already after dark because of how long it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
yeah.
true.
Now you know how I feel when I have to edit it. So,
Thank you so much
anyways,
for
with that
watching.
said, episode 67, of course, is in praise of Pip. Number 1, of course, is The Eye of the Beholder. Number 121 is The Trouble with Templeton. Go ahead, guys. I know you're gonna do it because I can't
What?
stop you.
Don't know what you're talking about. But at
Sure.
98, we have a pip slap in. Currently,
I love how
dogs
it
are
got
howling.
so loud it like muted him.
Dogs are howling.
It didn't
Wine
really-
glasses are breaking currently. His face is turning into a tomato.
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
Brava! Oh, that was
Could have kept
lovely.
going.
Oh,
I would
God,
just
that
like to
was
say
sweet.
I am a 5 years removed now. I think 5 or 6 years former smoker, and I can do that. I feel pretty good about it.
That's awesome.
The good thing your wife can't hear you when you're down there because she'd be like, "Oh wait," she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds about right."
Shut the fuck up.
Anyway,
Wait, you have to have the proper graphic if you're gonna say "shut the fuck up."
Oh, hang on. Where is it?
power of editing.
How do you have something on hand for this already? She
Shut
just brought it
up!
up.
Shut up!
Oh my god.
Thank you, Jacob.
But anyways, with that said, the next episode is one that a lot of people should know. It's of course based off of Richard Matheson's story, written by Richard Matheson. Also turned into a movie with Hugh Jackman and fighting robots, but it's called Steel. It's season
Nice.
5, episode 2, directed by Don Weiss, stars Lee fucking Marvin, Joe Mantel, Chuck Hicks, Merritt Bone, and of course Frank London. Once again, if you've seen Real Steel, you know this episode. It's about a fighting robot, that type of thing.
Surprisingly good movie.
Yeah, it's fine for what it is. I'm not like a
Come
huge
on.
fan of it, but
A movie about fucking rock'em sock'em robots was actually good.
yeah, but it has Hugh Jackman in it as a drunk, so I guess that works.
What's wrong with Hugh Jackman?
Uh,
What's wrong with Hugh Jackman?
I think that's also
No, he plays a drunk.
after we stop
play-
recording thing, Jake.
Hugh Jackman.
he plays a drunk in that movie. So without further ado, we're heading out. It's late. We're getting out of Pip's life. We're gonna go into our own lives as a Twilight Zone. So Triv, Jacob, Alex, good as always.
Woohoo.
Jacob, you're going first today, damn it, because I feel like it. Jacob, where's your content at?
YouTube. You probably no, that's my old channel. Retro JKXY on YouTube, where I talk about old video game things and all that. It sounds like it might be right up your alley. Then come on over to the channel where I can go right up your alley
Right at Main Street.
with all kinds of
Wrap your alley in the house.
old stuff right up there. But yeah, come check out my channel. I have a new video coming and relatively soon. It's gonna be a 3-part video.
Ooh.
Menage
Menage a trois.
I don't really know if I have necessarily enough content for 3 videos worth, but I talked for so long because it was unscripted and it was just me talking that when I went to edit it, I was like, how do I have over 5 hours of footage? So I cut
Holy
it
crap.
down. So yeah, it's gonna be a 3-part video. of me rambling, babbling, as one person put it.
Yapping.
So yapping. I
Gabbing
do it
there,
all.
eh?
I do it all. So I was very, very diverse in that. But yeah, come check that out probably in next weekish or so. Whenever I decide to put it out.
Good stuff.
Like and subscribe, all that, hit the bell notification. Yeah.
Awesome. Alex, we'll go to you next. Content. Where at? Places, people, things.
YouTube.com/Alex Carson. And I'll come back on eventually. I'm working on it. But, cheers to what I do.
Hooray! Like, bing.
Think.
Here's with my
Flower
Pioneer Woman Collection cup.
Woo! So pretty.
Triv.
Yes.
Content. Things with
Ah,
people.
things, popcorn, killer pineapples, pits. No, actually, weirdly, I just put out a video that was also written by Richard Matheson on Pit and the Pendulum, Roger Corman classic. Stop by, say hi, check that out. Don't fall into a pit the way I did. Upcoming next is one like an SOV movie called Scream Queens, which would hopefully be out by the time maybe this video drops. We'll see. But yeah, so stop by, say hi, etc. Nick, you content.
You lie. I don't have things in places and people to see. I just
never
have
said that.
weird wares.
Say
I have-
it.
Tell us about your awesome content. Gosh darn it, eh?
I have a few things. I did the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte, which are already old at this point. Dark Matter, episode 7. Still working on that series. The Boys should be coming up soon. Probably do a Bad Boys review. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of shit. Don't know when I'm doing it, but I know it's coming eventually. So we'll look forward to
That's
that.
what she said.
Exactly. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. I have places to be, people to sleep with, things to sleep on. But without further ado, we're gonna head out. We're gonna head to the Twilight Zone. And for myself, Jacob, and Triv, and Alex, we'll see you guys next time in the Twilight Zone. Peace out, motherfucker.
Bye. We have a butter cow.
Let me look it up.
Hang on.
Well, Ohio had one of those too, like the fair.
Butter cow.
Well,
Fair
maybe
had
it's
a-
Ohio. I don't know.
What is a butter cow?
A butter
Is it
cow.
just
So they
in the
have
name?
so they have
It's a
s-
cow
like
that is made out of butter.
well, no, not 100%. So they have like armature wire that creates like the structure of the cow, and then they cover it in butter.
It literally is what it literally
It's
is.
a
in the
butter
name,
paper
butter
mach-
cow.
No, it's
Yeah,
Paper
yeah.
mache cow with butter.
no,
They-
no. It's like
It's an
armature
ice sculpture
wire.
with butter.
No, it's it. Let me see if I can find it here. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash on me. Hang on.
Thank you,
I
Alex. Thank
sent
you,
a
Alex.
link to the content. I was like, I swear to God, it was something pertaining
Went
to
to the
Iowa, and I was like, that's
Muppet
great.
movie.
Yeah, there's the butter cow.
I clicked on
Every-
this and it went to the Muppet movie moving along.
I think Alex is trying to give us a
Did it?
clue.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Hold
There's a
on, that
hint.
might be. Wait, I thought I shared the link. Okay, never mind. Hold on.
Okay, so they do the butter cow. They
Sorry,
also
that was for.
They also do all
Yeah.
kinds
Alex
of
is
other
trying
great
to give us a
song.
hint
Moving
of
right
it.
along
You
with
know,
the Muppet movie
they were
podcast.
trying. You know what? They were trying to.
Moving right
along.
Shake, shake it, shake it,
I
shake,
love the
shake
way-
it, shake it, shake it, shake it like a Polaroid picture.